All right. Good morning, everyone. I'm Cece Underwood. It is 11 a.m. So we are going to start on time and discuss what is going on inside of the Northeast Florida real estate market. As always, if you want to put your questions in the chat, feel free to do so. I'm going to go over and I might even get to share my screen a little bit. So let's go forward and let's share our number of listings, listing prices, absorption rate. Let's go ahead and go through these numbers, okay? So if you do have any questions, let me know and we will get to those. All right, so first let's go over our number of listings currently in Northeast Florida. Now, this is just residential properties. This does not include any rentals, and this is only for the Northeast Florida MLS. Here in our area, we can search multiple MLSs, but I want this to be very accurate data. So here we are. We are currently sitting at about 10,000, just over 10,000 homes for sale. As you can see, 1 year ago, we were over 12,000 homes for sale. So a lot of this market summary, I like to go over like what was the market doing this time a year ago and what is that difference. Here, as you can see, the blue are the active listings. So we're actually lower. We have decreased amount of listings. I know a lot of times there is kind of that narrative that a lot of times there is that narrative that there are a ton of listings for sale and there's so much inventory. And there is, however, comparatively, when you are looking at the data, you're actually going to see that our listing inventory has gone down since last year. So it's really important to understand your data on a local, hyper-local level. Our new listings, which is very interesting. So this time last year, we were about just over 4,100 new listings taken in the month. This was March of 2025. And this year, so in April, it was 3,700. So we're actually less new listings are coming on the market. And this is a good thing. So that's exactly what we want to see. We want to see the active listings coming down. We want to see the new listings, but real estate is seasonal. So we are coming into the highest selling season of Florida and in most markets, that kind of second, third quarter chunk. March was a very strong month for real estate here, and April is already looking to be a very strong month May is looking to be a very strong month as well. So let's go into our listing prices. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen again so you can see. Here we go. All right, back to April here. So our listing prices, as you can see, our new median listing price, the average or our median price is $376,995. And this was of our new listings. Our active is $370 and our sold price is $359. So they're not terribly far apart. Our absorption rate. This is such an important number, and it's something that might be a little confusing, sounds a little confusing. But the absorption rate is the month's supply of inventory. This is very different from the days on market, as you can see. And what's really, really interesting, so here you can see about a year ago, our absorption rate in months was 5.28. That means there was about 5.5 months, about 5.5 months supply of listing inventory available. And so what that number represents is if no listings came on the market, right? If no listings. And at that time, let's say our active listings last year was 12,400. It would take almost 5.5 months to sell all 12,000 homes. That's the absorption rate. How many months it would take to sell all the current active listings. Well, that absorption rate also helps us determine what kind of market we're in. Typically, if we have anywhere between 1 to 3 months, so kind of like 3 months and below, that is considered a seller's market. Statistically, like that is a seller's market. Anything but between 3 to 5.5 is a balanced market, and over 6 months is typically considered a buyer's market. So last year we were sitting at almost 5.5, so 5.2 months. So we're in a very balanced market. though it felt like a buyer's market because we were really tipping the scales. We were really going into that buyer's market. But the interesting thing is, ever since January of 2025 was our highest absorption rate. Ever since then, of last year, we have been trending downward. As you can see, the month supply were going down, going down, going down, going down. And yet online, we were still seeing all these, things online saying, hey, there's so much inventory. And we felt it, right? It felt like there was a lot of inventory because new listings were continuing to come on the market. Homes were sitting a very long time, which seemed like much longer than we've seen before. And so when new listings come, existing listings are staying on the market. It feels like there's a lot of homes for sale. But as you can see, it has been going down ever since then. And January of this year, we were at our lowest in a really long time. We were at 4 months supply. So we were actually on the lower end of that balanced market. Still not feeling like a seller's market, but we are on the lower end of a balanced market. We felt the listing inventory came down. We felt like buyers went out. They were making more decisions. They were a little more motivated in this first quarter. And that's what you would expect. Lower inventory, it starts to match the number of buyers available, right? It's all supply and demand. When you have a lot more sellers than you do buyers, the buyers hold the power. Whenever you have more buyers than you do sellers, the buyers hold the power, or the sellers hold the power. And so that's kind of what happened in those COVID years was there weren't a lot of sellers. They had all the power because all these buyers, it was such a demand, they drove the prices up. Now that has flipped on its head and the buyers are saying, hey, I want more for my money. And some of those prices have come down. A lot of sellers put their homes on the market and decided to take them off because it didn't sell. They couldn't get that price they thought the market was giving them. And the market said no. So January, February, and March of this year, our absorption rate was holding steady at about 4 months supply. Now, last month in April, we had a very slight jump. It did go up. But again, I think that's to be expected because most sellers who are thinking of putting their house on the market are thinking April, May, end of school year. And so you should expect that listing number to rise. You should expect that inventory number to rise. You should expect that absorption rate to rise slightly because we were going into our selling season. But overall, 4 months supply, it's nothing to be scared of. It is a completely balanced market, and you should really see that reflective in our days on market because as our absorption rate has been going down, the last few months of this year, our days on market has been going down, as you can see here. So days on market was really high last year. It spiked, it came down, it spiked again. January, it spiked. Most people aren't buying in January. That's kind of one of the dead months of real estate in Florida is January. The other dead month is August, kind of right near when school starts because everyone's schedule is completely messed up. So they take a minute to stop looking at homes to get ready for school and all the things. But then, so here you go. You see January, it was 91 and a half days on market. February, it fell to 89. March, 86. And April, 77. So we really fell below on that 80 days on market. We've been trending around that, 80 to 90 days on market for a very long time now, for about a year. And the last time we were even this close was a year ago. It was March of 2025. So I would expect that to continue to go down a little bit because we're in the selling season. I would expect more buyers to come out because they do want to get in and purchase in that spring and summer months. And of course, when you have a lower days on market, that means the buyers are a little more motivated and that sales price is going up. So as you can see here, January was 93 was our sold to list rate or list to sales price ratio. And it's been going up ever since then. So February, and this is the average. So all this does is represent the average of a lot, all of Northeast Florida. So we're talking downtown, West Side, Orange Park, Fleming Island, Mandarin, St. Johns County, all in one. So it is very important to understand that of all of these metrics, it is the average of all of Northeast Florida residential homes. Your particular neighborhood could be very different. I have seen neighborhoods where the average days on market was 120 days. And that was just normal for that neighborhood. So while the average days on market right now might be 77, 78 days on market, your specific neighborhood, it could be 30 days, it could be 120 days, it could be 180 days. So it's very important that whenever you're talking with realtors, if you are expecting and you're wanting to sell your home, that they understand this data really, really well, and they're able to run these market analysis on your specific home and in your specific neighborhood, because this is the data that actually matters, is the data of your neighborhood. And if you are someone and you're wanting me to pull kind of these market stats for your neighborhood, you're really wanting to see the average days on market, just let me know. You can email me, cc@sellingwithcc.com. You can message us on any of our socials. Don't worry about that. We cannot do a full-blown market analysis without coming into your home, because so much about your home, your neighborhood, your street, the upgrades, that does affect your value. But we could give you a very statistical analysis of your home with data like this, if you're geeky and you like to geek out on the numbers. The good thing is our list to sales price is going up. Now, here's what I want to say about this. List to sales price ratio, this is, again, it's the average. Your agent that you hire, their average may be different. And so this is one of those questions. We talk a lot about educating homeowners on what questions to ask realtors whenever you're interviewing, and you should always interview. One of those questions should be, what is your particular, if they're a single agent or on a team, what is your average list to sales price ratio? You now know that the average is 94.6. So if you want to hire an agent that is outperforming the market, meaning they are getting 95, 96, 97, 98% of their list price, this is what impacts your dollars the most. It's not how much they charge, it is how much they can net you. And an agent that can help you strategically price the home, increase exposure and marketing is going to get you closer to what you're asking, versus those that down here, the average, they sat longer on the market, and ultimately days on market increases, your list to sales price ratio also it will decrease. So if your home is sitting, it's selling for less. This is why it is so important to get your home sold in that first 90 days. And really the first 30 is so important, but 90 days or less, your home should be selling unless you're in a super specific, extra luxury, ultra luxury market where those numbers are different. And I'm going to quit my screen. That way you guys can see me and talk to me. But what I do want to say when it comes to all that days on market and marketing your home, if you have something very specific, if your home has a pool, then that's going to make your numbers different. If your home is outdated, that's going to make your numbers different. Whenever you are putting your home out there, the marketing, that's going to change your exposure. But all things matter are related to the price. And so whenever you're looking at listing your home, you're looking at the market and you're asking yourself, should I sell my home? Or you're asking the question, what everyone asks a realtor, is it a good time to sell? Well, my question to you is going to be, how motivated are you to sell? What are you willing to do to get your home sold? Because if you're asking me, is it a good time to sell? It's always a good time to sell for the right motivated seller. But if you're someone that is saying, I don't want to spend money on the home, I just want to sell it as is, I don't want to put another dime into this home. If they want to upgrade it, they can buy it and they can put money into it. If you are saying things like this, it is going to be very, very difficult for you to get your home sold. And the reason is, and we say this on our team and we talk to our sellers, buyers aren't buying your problems. Buyers don't want to buy your problems. And if you are a seller and you are thinking, I don't want to upgrade this, I don't want to update this, I don't want to clean my AC, I don't want to have this service, I don't want to freshen the paint, I don't want to freshen my landscape, because all you're seeing is money, money, money. What do you think the buyers are thinking? What do you think the buyers are thinking? They're going to walk through your home and all they're going to see is problems, 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 my money going out the door. And so there has to be this understanding that if you are a homeowner and you're thinking of selling your home, that you get a pre-inspection, you get a pre-listing home inspection, and you figure out what's going on in your home. Just because you haven't seen a problem doesn't mean it's not there. And as any great negotiator, you want to play offense. You want to know exactly what's going on. So you're in the driver's seat, you get to choose what gets fixed. And that way, the buyer, when they get their home inspection, they're not seeing the problems. They're not seeing the 10 years of lack of maintenance that is going to scare them. The home inspection, once your home is under contract, the home inspection is the number one place where buyers walk away. Imagine you're a first-time home buyer. You're not handy. You're not, you weren't raised to fix things and look at problems and go, yeah, I got that. Instead, you were raised, and if there's problems, you got to go pay for that. You have to go pay a service person for that. And as we all know, cost of living, all that stuff is higher today. So if you're wanting a buyer to purchase your home, the very highest price possible, it needs to be in the very best condition possible. Buyers aren't unrealistic. They want everything to match. They want the condition and the upgrades to match the price that you're asking. And when you're in a balanced market, buyers still have options. They still have things to choose from. Number one, if you're competing with new construction, you are competing with new. You are competing with, hey, I don't have years of grace on the cabinets. They're not competing. You are competing with a 4.99% interest rate. You're competing with the seller who's paying closing costs. And yes, they're going to pay more in price. However, ultimately, in the first 5 years of that home, it's going to cost them less versus a buyer going to a resale saying, hey, I'm going to get a higher interest rate potentially. As a seller, you could still choose to buy the interest rate down. It is an option for you. If you want to do that to make your home more desirable, I recommend it. It's fantastic. And it is much better for you and cost you less money to buy the rate down than it does to drop your price $10,000, $20,000, because now you're accomplishing the monthly payment range that the buyer is looking for. But before all that, they have to love it. All the marketing in the world. More open houses is not going to get your home sold. More marketing is not going to get your home sold if it is overpriced for the condition that's being put out there. Buyers want a home that is clean, that smells good, and is move-in ready. And by move-in ready, they mean, yes, clean. They mean updated, which means the roof, the HVAC, the electric and plumbing, all things work, and there are no insurance violations or red flags that would come up, and they're not going to have to replace the roof in the next 5 years. A buyer that sees that is going to look and think, that's $20,000 to $40,000 that I'm going to have to pay in the next 5 years. This now makes the home they're looking at worth less. Everything a buyer looks at your home and thinks, I need to do that, makes them think this home is worth less. And so I just want to put that into your thought process whenever you're thinking about selling your home. Do the things, meet with your realtor, have them give you a rundown of what buyers today are looking for. What are their expectations? What could you do to change the way that the home looks? If your home is vacant, stage it. It is the number one thing. It elevates the space. It makes it look more expensive. It warms it up, and it distracts buyers from looking at your walls and the scratches and the holes and the dirty grout lines. So if you are thinking of selling your home and it's vacant, please stage it. I promise you it is worth its weight in gold when it comes to the buyers feeling warm inside your house, which is what you want. You want the buyers to feel the warm and fuzzies. So outside of that, whenever we're looking at the statistics for April, the days on market is decreasing. That is good for sellers. Our absorption rate, it is only 4 months. It's a little over a 4-month supply. So we're seeing all good numbers. Overall, home prices have stayed the same since this month last year. Now, I know there's a lot of people think they should purchase a home 1 year and be able to sell it for a profit the next year. Unless you're an investor buying it at a severe discount, improving the property and reselling it for profit, that's not likely going to happen. So the average that buyer's home or a homeowner's home increases 3 to 4% a year. That's very healthy, very, very healthy. But if you purchased a home in 2023, for instance, we are seeing that people that purchased a home in 2023 possibly are able to sell for what they paid for it or slightly below. They might be upside down. This may mean that you bring money to closing, or even if you put money into it, let's say you added a backsplash, you added a fence, you spent $20,000 in the last 3 years or $50,000. That doesn't necessarily mean you're getting that money back because the market hasn't changed much. Again, it may not seem like a benefit, but it didn't tank. So we're staying positive. The market is holding very, very steady because we are in a stable market. And I just want to say that everything comes down to presentation, marketing, pricing. Everything matters in this market. Everything matters. So if you think, oh, this doesn't bother me, it might bother the buyer. And the realtor you hire should be able to tell you that honestly, that this matters. You need to do this. If your home is dirty, your realtor should be telling you your home needs to be professionally cleaned. It needs a deep clean. If you can do it, great. If you got time to it, better. If not, pay someone to deep clean your home. It matters. Get all the dust off everywhere. Refresh the paint, because the honesty, it's not something you're going to want to hear, but it's something you need to hear. That is the most honest thing that you could have, is a person telling you what it takes to get your home sold in today's market. If you are thinking you want a super honest realtor to come into your home and go line by line and room by room and say, here's what is needed to get your home sold, I think that a lot of real conversations aren't being had. And I'm happy to be that person. We've got a private Facebook group. If you're a homeowner and you want just unlimited advice, you don't want to go on St. John's Mom, you don't want to go on the real estate Facebook pages and ask people and to say, hey, I'm thinking of selling my home. You don't want your DMs blown up by 100 realtors. Okay, there's 12,000 of us here in Northeast Florida. 1% of them or more are going to be in your DMs. If you don't want that and you want a safe place to say, what about this upgrade? What's the ROI on this? How do I do this? Come to our Facebook page. It is, we'll put the link down there. Please join it. This is not for realtors. In fact, myself, my team, we are the only realtors in there. We are not going to DM you. We are not going to spam you. And we are not going to ask for your business. If you want to interview us, it'll come initiated from you first. We want homeowners to be better at preparing their homes for sale. So we're going to put that in the comments for you. If you have any questions at all, please make sure you reach out to our team. If you're thinking of buying or selling in Northeast Florida, we work Jacksonville, Clay County, and St. Johns County. Email me, cc@sellingwithcc.com, and I'll see you on the next one.